all charges, including a murder count against the Philadelphia police officer who shot and killed Eddie Irizarry during a traffic stop last month, have been dropped. Former officer Mark Dial killed the 27-year-old Puerto Rican in what the court has determined to be a justifiable shooting. The defense says Dial was acting in self-defense when firing his weapon at close range as Irizarry sat in the car. Irizarry's family vowed to appeal the decision outside the courthouse after the ruling. Kirk Burkhalter joins us now. He's a professor at New York Law School and director of the 21st Century Policing Project. Kirk, talk to us about this decision. Were you surprised that the charges of murder, and are you surprised now that the charges have been dropped?
So I was, good afternoon, first of all. I was somewhat surprised. Usually in a case like this, or I would say quite often, this would be a question for the jury. The judge's decision here at this preliminary hearing, in essence, means that even if a reasonable jury found all these facts to be true, there wouldn't be enough here as a matter of law to carry a murder charge, to sustain a murder charge, rather, or the voluntary manslaughter charge. Primarily, this is based on the judge finding that the police officer's belief that he was in danger was reasonable and that his actions were reasonable. But usually, like I said, this is the type of question that would be left to a jury.
Now, are there? I'm thinking of where this happened. I mean, I know that there are states that have different kinds of laws around self-defense. Does that come into play here, or is this just something having to do with just all law enforcement?
Well, it's certainly most states are consistent with regards to self-defense
Of a police
for
officer.
law enforcement officers. And here, this is rather consistent. The Pennsylvania Penal Code is rather consistent with other penal codes. The key is, once again, this reasonable belief. If the police officer reasonably believes that their life is in danger or someone else's life is in danger, they're basically authorized to use deadly physical force to fire their firearm. And that's what the defendant was arguing here, the soon-to-be former police officer, that his partner yelled out "gun," he believed his life was in danger, and that's why he fired. However, what the court doesn't consider are the tactics, right? Did the police potentially create the harm here? And they could have, at the risk of playing Monday morning quarterback, the police officers could have used more effective tactics to kind of contain the situation and determine if the driver had a weapon. But that's usually not at issue in a case like this. There's no examination of the tactics that they used.
When the DA released the footage, the body camera footage, there was a great deal of outrage, not just among the Puerto Rican community in Philadelphia, but across the city. What recourse does the family have at this point?
Well, first, there was a lot of outrage because let's recall that initially the police stated that the young man stepped out of his car. So the body cam footage showed that that wasn't true. The recourse here the family may have is to sue the police department civilly. The standard for a civil suit is not beyond a reasonable doubt. It's preponderance of the evidence. So we've seen in various jurisdictions where someone doesn't receive the relief they're seeking in criminal court, sometimes they receive it under civil in civil court, but that's certainly not going to bring this young man back. Family could certainly lobby for some type of change in the law, but I doubt that that will be effective. So the only recourse that they really have in this matter is when the prosecutor appeals this ruling from the preliminary hearing by the judge, as far as the criminal case is concerned.
Kirk Burkhalter, thank you.
My pleasure.